I never thought a simple decision would turn my life upside down. Being a single dad is hard, really hard. Ever since my wife passed away 3 years ago, I've been juggling a full-time job, parenting my 12-year-old son Jake, and keeping our small apartment afloat. Money was tight, bills piled up, and I knew I had to find a way to make ends meet. That's when I decided to rent out the spare room in our apartment. I posted an ad online, expecting maybe a college student or a young professional looking for a cheap place. I didn't expect the door to open one afternoon to a smiling, polite, and charming young woman who would completely change my life. Her name was Lila. When she walked in, she held her bag tightly and smiled nervously. "Hi, I'm Lila. I saw your ad and I really like the room. Is it still available?" I nodded, motioning for her to sit. "Yes, it's yours if you like it. Just keep in mind, it's a small place, and my son lives here too." Lila didn't seem fazed. In fact, she smiled warmly. "That's perfect. I love small, cozy places. It feels more like a home." There was something about her, polite, mature, responsible, beyond her age. I figured she was just a model tenant, and in my situation, that was enough. Jake, on the other hand, was curious. "Is she rich?" he whispered as Lila unpacked her things. I laughed. "Don't know, buddy, and it doesn't matter. What matters is she's a nice girl." Little did I know, her wealth was the last thing on my mind, because the truth was far more complicated and life-changing than I could have imagined. Over the next few days, Lila became part of our little household. She helped Jake with his homework, cooked simple meals occasionally, and was polite beyond reason. I noticed that she didn't flaunt anything. No fancy gadgets, no designer clothes, no extravagant lifestyle. She blended in perfectly. One night, as we sat eating dinner, I asked casually, "So, what are you studying, Lila?" She smiled. "Business administration. I want to run my own company someday." "Ambitious," I said. "That's good." She nodded. "I want to make a difference. But first, I need to understand how people live. Real people, not just those in luxury." I didn't think much of it then. But her words lingered in my mind. It wasn't until the second week that I began noticing subtle things. Lila had a way of always being polite to everyone around her. Neighbors, delivery people, even the janitor. She refused gifts, turned down expensive meals, and never once asked for money. One evening, Jake came running to me, eyes wide. "Dad, I think Lila's hiding something. She doesn't act like a normal student." I laughed. "What do you mean, buddy?" "She's different. She's kind of mysterious, like she knows things we don't." I brushed it off as typical kid imagination. But deep down, I had a feeling Jake was right. Something about her wasn't ordinary. It happened on a rainy afternoon. I was coming home from work early because Jake had a fever. As I opened the door, I saw Lila talking on the phone, her voice shaking slightly. "Yes, I understand. I'll handle it," she said softly, hanging up after a tense conversation. I asked, "Everything okay?" She hesitated, then looked at me with honesty in her eyes. "I suppose it's time you knew. I'm not a normal college student. My family, we're wealthy. My father owns multiple companies, and I'm his only daughter. I wanted to experience life differently, to learn what it's like to live like ordinary people." I blinked. "You mean all this time you've been a millionaire's daughter?" She nodded, biting her lip. "I wanted to see life without privilege. I wanted to understand kindness, responsibility, real life. I was stunned. Everything about her seemed so genuine. Her politeness, her willingness to help around the house, her respect for money and effort. It was incredible to see someone so wealthy act so grounded. Over the next few weeks, I realized how much she had already changed our lives. Jake adored her. He had someone to talk to, someone who encouraged him to study, play, and dream. Lila had a gentle way of making our small apartment feel like a home again. But not everything was easy. Word of her wealth got out to some of her classmates, and soon people were visiting, trying to impress her or gain favors. She handled it gracefully, always polite, always setting boundaries. One evening, we sat together over tea. "Lila," I said carefully, "why go through all this? You could have lived in luxury, but you chose this life." She looked thoughtful. "I needed to understand who I am. Money can't teach you empathy, responsibility, or love. I wanted to learn that here, with you and Jake." Her words hit me harder than I expected. She was wiser than many adults I knew. Everything changed one night when Lila received an unexpected call. A business associate from her father's company had made a massive error. Millions were at risk. Suddenly, the calm, polite girl was facing the full weight of her family's empire. She panicked, not knowing how to handle the crisis. That's when she turned to me. "Dad, I need your help," she whispered. I laughed lightly, correcting her. "You mean me?" "Yes. You and Jake. You've taught me about real life. I need your perspective. I can't solve this with money alone." It was surreal. The girl I thought I was renting a room to had come to me for guidance. She was relying on real wisdom, not wealth. We spent days strategizing, calling contacts, analyzing the problem. Lila's knowledge of business was extensive, but what she lacked was experience in human nature, in trust, in responsibility. Slowly, she started learning from me, and together, we managed to prevent the financial disaster. Her father, who had been furious initially, was shocked at her humility and our teamwork. "You've grown," he said when he visited. "I'm proud of you." Lila smiled, tears in her eyes. I couldn't have done it without them. By the end of the story, our little apartment felt fuller than ever. Jake had gained a mentor. I had gained a daughter in all but blood. And Lila had discovered lessons money could never teach. She returned to her luxurious life, but she did so differently. She wasn't arrogant. She wasn't spoiled. She had learned the value of kindness, patience, humility, and the importance of real relationships. Wealth can open doors, but it cannot teach character. True wisdom comes from humility, empathy, and the people who stand by you when life is hardest. Sometimes, ordinary experiences are worth more than millions, and the lessons of the heart are priceless. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something from it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, full of life lessons, drama, and emotions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep bringing you more inspiring and unforgettable stories. Stay tuned because more amazing stories are on the way.